Okay, so I want to talk about Alan Wake. Not in Dead by Daylight, but the actual video game Alan Wake 2. For my first 4.5 hours, I'd say, including the trial I got through my PlayStation Plus subscription, which let me uh, play it for free for about 2 hours, I was having fun with this game. I was enjoying it. I loved it. Even the first Alan Wake segment I went through was fun. I enjoyed it. I liked the puzzle solving a lot. I liked the idea of piecing together how to get through this dark place, this nightmare realm. But then, shortly after I completed Saga's, I think it was, fourth chapter involving Coffee World, I decided I'm going to swap to Alan. I want to see his side of the story. Granted, trying to figure out how to get there was a bit of a challenge in itself, deciding to find the right break room with the puddle to teleport to his thing. To his segment of the game. I got there, and at first it was like, alright, it's a bit challenging, sure, why not? But one thing that rubbed me the wrong way about the Alan Wake segments from the very beginning, even though I was okay with it at first, was that his weapon and gear setup, he is in a far weaker state than Saga is. Saga's got a fucking shotgun, crossbow, ammo, plenty of healing items. What does Alan get? 2 fucking painkillers that I found in the segment We Sing that I was trying to do for him. In this segment, it is really hard to see anything. Because there's a lot of bright flashing lights, a lot of musical... The musical score is great. But I got to a segment where I picked up the flare gun. I thought, alright. And this is apparently a one-shot kill for most enemies. Cool, I thought. Little did I realize that this weapon wasn't something I should just hold on to for emergencies. It was a requirement. Not only a requirement, to make the best use of it, you had to group enemies together, and they didn't like doing that. They like to be as far away from each other as possible. Probably dev-intended, knowing how powerful the flare gun shots are. This made killing enemies really hard, because I had to flashlight stun them, because as far as I can tell, the enemies are immortal until you flashlight burn them and reveal their weakened state. I don't know if that's the case. They might have just a really enhanced armor, but I'm fairly certain they are immortal until you flashlight burn them. Now, there are a shit ton of enemies in the area shortly after you picked up the flare gun. There are plenty of supply boxes, but only 2 of them, as far as I can tell, gave you painkillers, which are a low form of health restoration. And as far as I can tell, you don't get ammo refills. So the words of power that I had found so far that, let me have my percent chance of not consuming bullets, we're going to be as important as ever in that segment. There's just one problem. This is the biggest annoyance of it all. If I die at any point in the segment, I go back to the beginning. right back to where I pick up the flare gun, mind you. As far as I can tell, it's a long fucking way to the next checkpoint. Oh, and by the way, if you don't, if you lose sight of the enemies at any point, they apparently get their immortality armor back, and your flashlight charges are limited. So, oh well, and by the way, the ticker. I don't have any of my gear or ammunition from my previous Alloy segment because apparently he's rewriting the story. Their plot excuse, as I want to call it, the plot device for the reason why he loses all his shit again. With the exception of his words of power, apparently. After my 8th death, because you might be watching this if the enemy bothers to fucking watch these things, might be watching this and thinking, well, you're just not dodging right. Or you're not rushing through it fast enough. I tried both methods. I tried taking it slow, flashlight burning the enemies, taking them out one by one. But here's the thing: if you take I think Alan has like what, about 7 hits, 6 hits. I think he can take 6 hits from these crowbar wielding motherfuckers until he's dead. Painkillers only restore like a bit of a fraction of a health state. Oh, and by the way, if you get smacked in the middle of using them, the effect gets canceled and then you have to try again. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, also, dodging cancels your reload. So if you're like 1 frame away from reload, but you're forced to dodge because the enemy could just swing at you, start over again, bitch. Take about 3 seconds to reload again. Even though you were like 0.1 seconds away from reloading. Fuck you. Start from the beginning, bitch. I can't tell you how many times I was in the middle of a reload and I had to dodge to avoid damage, and then I had to start reloading all the fuck over again because I had to dodge. And then I had to dodge again, canceling my reload again. Up until this point, the Alan Wake 2 game has been fun. It's been scary, spooky fun. But now, in this segment, I am having more frustration than I am fun. As I've said in multiple forum posts online, I value fun over frustration. I can deal with a bit of it. In fact, some of it is fine. It pushes me to keep going forward and overcome a challenge. Especially when I'm playing games like Dark Souls or Elden Ring. But this isn't that good kind of frustration of you're just not doing good enough. It's the frustration of I'm knocked back to fucking square one upon any death. It wouldn't be so bad if they checkpointed me at certain parts. But now, as far as I can tell, there's no checkpoint, and I went through this long as fuck segment for quite a while. Oh, by the way, it's not easy to navigate either. Like I said, all the flashing lights and dark contrasts. I was walking into invisible walls 90% of the time. And you might be, this is where you might be going, well, pay attention, dumbass, it's that way, obviously. This is the part where I tell you I'm color deficient. Certain colors and hues of similar colors and hues blend into my eyesight. Now let me ask you this. When everything's dark and dark and blurry everywhere, how am I supposed to know where the fuck to go unless I see a blatant arrow? Now, of course, this just might be my fault. There might be colorblind settings in the accessibility options that I just haven't turned on yet. Might be my fault. Could very well be the case that it's my fault. But it still doesn't change the fact that this segment is extremely hard to navigate, extremely punishing on even the slightest of fuck-ups, because like I said, you only like 6 hits until you die. And these guys don't just swing once. They'll swing once at you, and then swing again. And if that one swing takes them out of your point of view on camera, you better impulsively dodge again, otherwise you're gonna get smacked. Because I guarantee you, they're swinging off screen at you. God, it was so frustrating that after my 8th death in a row, I just went, I'm done. I'm shutting it off for the day. Now, I might be missing some major plot threads having not played the first one, but in regards to its story, I'm kind of confused. Considering it's a multiversal meta-narrative, it's already hard to follow, but I thought Alan escaped the Dark Place. Only when I go back to a segment, it goes, no, I didn't escape. So, my question on that one is Saga's world reality or Alan Wake's fiction? Well, regardless, not much I can do about that. That was just a side thought on its plot, but yeah, overall, the Alan Wake segment is just, it's so frustrating. That said, if you got any advice for me, I'd love to hear it. So, if you got any advice for me on how to get through that, the Wii Scene segment for Alan Wake's side, please leave me a comment. Either point me to a guide or tell me how to do it. Because as far as I can tell, I have to slowly navigate this carefully and blast every single enemy I come across. Because I tried rushing it, and I ended up getting overwhelmed halfway through, or at least what I assume is halfway through the stage. If I can safely keep on rushing by just knowing my way through, please tell me. Because at that point, then I'll just be like, fuck it, I'm ignoring everything and I'm just gonna rush it. But if it's like I suspect it is, where I have to carefully take my way through the area, then, well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's just really frustrating. That said, if you watch this far through, well, guess I got a dedicated follower or something, I don't know. Regardless, if you like this video, like, and if you're insane enough, subscribe. This is Josiah, signing out.